I'm Sienna.
Oh no, I missed it. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Sienna.
And I'm Madison.
And you're listening. Hey, I'm Sienna.
And I'm Madison.
I'm yelling at them.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm Sienna.
And I'm Madison.
And you're listening to the Just a Person podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Just a Person podcast, a show that explores life's highs, lows, and in-betweens. I'm Madison, and today we're talking to Matthew. Matthew talks to us about what it's like switching from private to public school, the role social media plays in the lives of people his age, and what dating looks like in the modern teenage world. Thanks for listening and enjoy. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
So I'm going to start the show out. We're going to pick a question from this hat, and we're all going to answer it. You're going to go first.
Okay.
The question is, what does it mean to live a good life?
Like be successful, have a nice family, and enjoy yourself.
What does success mean to you, though?
Like have a good job. If you have your own business, make sure it's good, you're successful with it. I don't know.
Okay.
Other way to describe it.
Fair enough. Sienna?
Ooh, I think honestly, if you're just happy, and I feel like for everyone, you'll attain that differently. I feel like a lot of people might gain that from like making an impact with like other people. Maybe it's through your career, maybe it's just through your social life, maybe it's through your family, but just like being impactful towards others. I feel like not everybody thinks you need to do that, but for some that might be important.
Okay. Yeah. I think just living a life that you're happy with. So your career, your friends, your family, all of that.
Yeah. Just living your life on your own terms, kind of.
Okay. So I forgot to do this at the beginning, but today we have with us my cousin Matthew. He is a woohoo. He is a sophomore or junior. He's a junior in high school, and today he's going to talk to us about being a high schooler. So before we get to that, do you want to just tell us, where you're from, what it was like growing up?
Yeah, I'm from Michigan. I had a pretty normal childhood. I have a lot of cousins and we're really close with my family, so I spent a lot of time with my family. My childhood was pretty family centered and I did a lot with my family. So
what was your favorite thing to do with all of us?
We used to go on a lot of trips, which was fun.
We're from kind of like a smaller area, and we were in the elementary school at the same time, the same elementary school. I was in 6th grade and Matthew was in kindergarten. Why don't you tell us a little bit about being in an elementary school in such a small town?
It was different because there was the regular public school, then there was our Catholic school, and it was different because the class sizes were so smaller and there wasn't nearly as many kids as what a normal elementary school is. So it was pretty different.
How many kids did you guys have?
Do you remember? I don't remember.
I mean, it was like kindergarten through 6th grade, and there was like 50 kids total in the whole school.
Wow.
Maybe less.
Yeah, there probably was I remember in my grade for kindergarten, there was 4 of us. So
is that including you?
Yeah, there was 4. But after that, it progressively got bigger and bigger, but it wasn't ever more than like 12.
I feel like people say they're from a small town and like it's really not that small a town. But when you say you're from a small town, like you had 3 other people in your class in kindergarten.
Yeah, I feel like people say they're from a small town and you ask how many.
Huge town. It's not
like
small.
15,000 people.
Like I considered when I went to a Catholic school for it to be like a small school, and there was 200 of us like per grade around. I thought that was a small school. And then I met people like you in college who said they had like 2 or 3 people in their class.
Yeah, it was definitely way different than
a normal school.
Yeah.
So did you like it? Like being in that small of a school?
I did, yeah. I liked it a lot. There was a lot of kids that didn't like it. They wanted a lot of people to go to school with, and I'm not like that. I liked it.
You switched to a new school at some point. How old were you then?
I was in 6th grade. There was 2 schools and they merged together. So you'd go from kindergarten to 5th grade at the one school, and then you'd go from 6th grade to 8th grade to the other school. So I moved over to the other school, but I don't know how old I was. However old you are in 6th grade, I don't know.
Right.
When you switched over in 6th grade, was it to a bigger school or was it still a small school?
It was still small. There was probably like 15 kids in my class though. So, I was moving up in the world.
Okay.
And I think it's a bit different because when you go to like a public school, generally you have 1 grade in a classroom.
There was like 3.
But yeah, in the schools that we went to for like elementary school, they would have like 2 or 3 grades in a classroom and one teacher.
How did they teach you guys? Like, for example, if first, second, and third were together, would you learn the same lessons all 3 years?
No, it was different. They'd break you up. But a lot of our stuff was like self-centered, so you could move at your own pace type of thing.
Okay.
So that was like, there could be 6th graders doing 8th grade math or 8th graders doing 6th grade math. It was just all kind of different like that. It was just move at your own pace. But there were certain things where it was just grade stuff, like 6th graders would have to learn this, or 7th graders. They would group stuff together in the grades, but most time it was all separate.
I kind of like that. Independent work.
Do you think that helped you learn things better, or was it more difficult because the teacher wasn't like teaching as much? It was kind of more on you.
It was better for me because I struggle with school sometimes. So it was nice to have like work at my own pace, and I could work one-on-one with the teacher. Some kids didn't like that because they wanted to learn. It was just different for them. But for me, I like the self-centered. I could work at my own pace.
So how many kids do you have in your class now as a junior?
216 or something like that.
He also moved schools again, though, when he went to high school.
Yep. I moved schools twice.
So now he goes to a public school.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really different.
What was it like from going from such a small, I mean, in, elementary school, you have like 4 other kids in your class, and then you move to kind of a slightly bigger school, and then you move to a school that's huge, and you can wear whatever you want. You don't have a uniform. You guys have like kind of a different schedule that you work on. Was it, first of all, hard just making all of these changes?
Yeah, at first it was hard at first because my whole life, even, it sounds crazy, but just like the not having a uniform, finding something to wear every day was different. Because since I was little, I wore a blue shirt and navy pants every day. It was really different with all the kids because I wasn't used to walking down the hallway and you couldn't really walk because there were so many kids or stuff like that. I struggled at first, but I like it now. But at first it was really different for me because I've been used to like 12 kids my whole life. So
I guess, would you say you like it more or less than like the small private school?
I used to like the private school better when I first started high school, but now I like the high school a lot better.
I kind of went through something similar because I went to a private Catholic school K through 9, and then it wasn't until my 10th grade year I switched schools for the first time, and I went to a public school. And I remember just being in shock. The same thing, I had worn a uniform my entire life, and then suddenly you can wear whatever you want. You can have your phone. You're allowed to listen to music. The rules were just so different, and I feel like the way people acted was so different. I really enjoyed it. I loved my public school. I felt, a lot more comfortable there. I felt like it was a lot more relaxed, and the school itself was huge. Like, there was a pool, there was just all these new classes that my like old private school didn't offer just because of its smaller size. But I really liked it. I'm glad you did too.
Talk a little bit about going from a school where there's like, very few people in your class, the friends from there, versus like you're actually now able to kind of pick your friends.
I know that was different because I was like, oh, I'm not used to this because there was 12 kids in my class. I had these kids I had to be friends with. Now it's like, oh, there's a bunch of different people. That's different for me.
You could pick people probably who you had like more in common with, and who you really actually enjoyed hanging out with, as opposed to, this is it, like, let's make it work.
Yep.
Was it hard trying to make friends at your new school, or did you fall into that pretty easily?
It wasn't hard. I was just really worried about it. It was really easy, but I kind of just didn't want to talk to anybody because I didn't want them to think I was weird or anything like that. But the first like couple weeks, it was difficult, but it wasn't really difficult. I just made it difficult because I didn't want to just get out there and start talking to people. But then after a while, I opened up and I made a lot of friends.
On your first day there, what was that like? Like, if you didn't have friends at that point, who did you like sit with at lunch, talk to in class or whatever?
There was a couple kids that had used to gone to my private school a long time ago, and they were there and they knew I was coming there, so they kind of helped me out. So I talked to them for the first couple days and like sat at lunch with them and stuff like that. And there was a couple of kids from my school that came there, so it was nice to like, we had each other, just to walk through this. So that was how it was at first. But then I made friends and it was easy. But the first day was hard because it was like, what is going on? There's so many different people. There's all these different things going on. I got lost the whole time because I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. This place is huge.
Yeah, I experienced the same thing. I remember I couldn't find my locker, and it was like lunchtime.
That was me.
Yes, I couldn't. I would try to find it between like classes, and I would always run out of time before the next bell would ring. So I couldn't have any of my books. And then even for lunch, I couldn't find my locker to get my lunch. So eventually I just gave up and I went to the cafeteria without my lunch because I couldn't find it. I was so stressed out. And then I found out, I think I like went to the wrong lunch period. Like I wasn't even supposed to be there. It was horrible.
I did that a couple times.
Yes. It took me at least a week or two before I could even like confidently find my locker.
I couldn't get my locker open because I never had a locker before. So I didn't know how to use a locker till I got to high school. And I struggled. I'd have to ask the teacher. I'd be like, I don't know how to open this. You got to help me. And a lot of times I just carried one binder with all my stuff in it because I couldn't get in my locker. And by the end of the day, I was so stressed out I was going to miss the bus or something. So I learned, but at first it was really stressful because I'm like, I don't know how to use this.
Yeah, it was hard because I mean, the public school is just so big. Like to walk from one side to another just it could take 5, 6, 7 minutes. And that's when you know like where you're going, let alone when you are so confused. I was so confused. I had no idea where I was, where I needed to go, what direction. I would just ask random people. Like it was horrible. I hated it.
I remember on my first day of school, I had to go to the bathroom and I knew there was one way down the other side of the school where you walk in. Turns out there was one right by my locker, but I've walked 10 minutes the other way to go to the bathroom. And the next day I walked down that hallway and I was like, hey, there's a bathroom right there. But I was so nervous to walk in there without getting lost. I had to go the way I knew because I was like, I know where to go. I didn't want to go anywhere I didn't know because I knew I'd get lost.
So when you were in elementary school, I'm pretty sure you got a phone or like an iPod or something and you started going on like Snapchat and stuff. Is that correct?
I had an iPad, but I didn't get Snapchat till I was in like 7th grade or something like that. But I had an iPad in elementary school. We got it for Christmas and my sister and I shared it.
In elementary school, did you use that much or was it just like kind of for fun sometimes? Or did the other kids even have stuff like that?
Not really. I had a Kindle too. We all had like Kindle Fires, but that was about it. I remember that we always used to have those in school, but not really then. We didn't have no one had a lot of devices.
So was it a big transition from that to when you got into high school, you started using it a lot more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think you have like a Twitter or anything. I mean, if you do, that's
Yeah,
your
I don't
own
have
business, but I know you have like Facebook you just got.
Yeah.
Instagram you have. I don't know how much you use that, but what do you think is the thing that you use the most?
Honestly, I use Snapchat a lot. A lot of kids around my age use Instagram. I just go on there. I don't really use it. A lot of people post and do a lot of stuff like that. I probably have one post from like 4 years ago when I used it. I don't really do much on Instagram.
I feel like we're the same. We use it to like look, but
Yep, I'm the same way. My last post from Instagram is probably like 3 years ago. I don't do anything like that.
Who uses, in your opinion, Snapchat, Instagram, social media stuff more? Just out of the people you know, I guess, girls or boys?
Girls use the like Instagram and stuff a lot more. My friends that are boys, they're all the same as me. None of us post. We kind of just go on there to just look and stuff like that. But girls, you see, like they use Instagram a lot, and like we use Snapchat, but I don't post anything on Snapchat. I just use that to talk to my friends. Like I don't really text them on like iMessage or something like that. We just use Snapchat to communicate. But like the girls, you see a lot more girls that post than guys.
I guess why do you think that is?
I don't really know, honestly. I don't know if that's the same for like other girls, but my friend group and the people that I have on my Snapchat and stuff, it just seems to be the case where the girls post more than the guys. Then again, there's some guys that post. I know a lot of people, there's guys that a couple that post a lot all the time, but that could just be because my friends just we're not like that. But there's other ones that probably are.
Why do you think that people your age don't use texting? Why only Snapchat? Because Sienna's sister said the same thing.
I don't know. I think it's just because people just like the design of it. You can like send it the actual like pictures and stuff like that. I wonder that too. My parents asked me that, like, why do people use Snapchat? What's the difference? And I was like, well, you can just send pictures. I don't use text messaging that much, but I use like the text messaging on Snapchat. I don't really know. There's just something around Snapchat that people are just drawn to, that they just use a lot more.
I feel like even for me, I mean, I'm a bit older and I do text people, but I also do use like not even the Snap chatting, but like Snap messaging. And almost to me, it kind of seems a bit more casual.
Do you think it's because it disappears?
Well, I save my messages. So not even that. But I feel like for some people, if I haven't texted them in a year, I would feel so weird. Just like typing in their phone number and sending them a text. Whereas Snapchat, it's just like, it's not as serious. It's just more like laid back.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's more laid back and relaxed.
Yes. So it's less weird. It's like you can just like send a message, have a quick back and forth and like that's that. Even though you can technically do the same thing on iMessage, it just feels more like formal and serious. Which I feel like a lot of people don't like. At least for me, I kind of think the same way. online.
Since you don't really use social media that much, do you think it's had much of an impact on you? in
Not
any way?
really. I know some people, they're like so changed by social media, and that's just, I don't know, they're drawn to it, but I don't really think so because I don't use it that much. So it's not like it's made a big impact in my life.
Do you think that using Snapchat and stuff, since everyone uses it a lot your age, does that kind of replace like talking to people in person? Or like if you like a girl or someone, whoever, do you think that that replaces like the need to have and go and talk to them? You can just talk to them online instead.
I think, yeah, like if I like a girl, I'm not going to go up and talk to her first. I'm going to Snapchat or something like that. That's just kind of how it is with everybody these days. That's just how you do it. You know, it's not like I'm going to walk up to a person and start talking to them. People used to do that, but if I like a girl or something, I just start Snapchatting her first and then start talking to her. That doesn't sound great. It sounds like I'm just like, I don't know, but more likely to do that.
I feel like even people our age are more likely to do that. They'll kind of like message you online. Then depending on how that goes, you'll start talking in person.
See, and I get confused because I hate that because I feel so awkward if someone talks to me first, even if they're just like someone trying to be my friend. If they first try to talk to me online and then I see them in person, I feel really awkward. Do you never feel awkward when you do that?
Sometimes, like if I talk to someone online, like if I haven't talked to someone in person like forever, but I'm talking to them on Snapchat all the time, and you see something in person, it's like I don't even want to make eye contact. Kind of look the other way. I've had that happen where it's just really weird. It's like I haven't talked to you in like a year, but I talk to you on Snapchat every day, all day. But if I see you in person, it's kind of like I don't want to look at you.
How do you make the transition from like, okay, I've been talking to you for a year on my online, like how am I gonna now start talking to you in person?
A lot of people don't. I usually don't.
You just don't.
I don't.
You're lucky you go to a bigger school now,
Yep.
so you can hide.
Exactly.
I
There's
guess
not-
what's the point of talking to someone all the time, all day on Snapchat if you have no intentions ever talking to them in person?
I don't know. For me, it's kind of like I want to talk to him, but I'm like nervous around people. So I'd like to talk to him, but it's like, what do I say to you in person? Like I could talk to you on Snapchat all day long, but I don't know what I'm gonna say to you in person. But I want to.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I'm gonna say.
So would you feel better if they approached you in person?
Yeah. If someone else brought it, I'd be more comfortable. I'm kind of difficult, or I struggle with that kind of stuff, like going up and talking to someone first.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's how a lot of guys are. They'll like message you online and then they don't say anything to you in person. And you're like, what the heck? And I feel like a lot of them are just nervous, but you don't always know that.
It seems like you're like blowing somebody off
Yeah,
or something.
That's what the impression is.
Yeah, it seems like you just don't care or like you don't want to talk to them.
You're like embarrassed or something.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm just nervous. I just don't want to do it. It's not like I'm being a jerk. I'm just,
When really everyone's just scared.
yep. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm nervous.
Have you ever talked to someone on Snapchat or whatever for a while and then like actually without ever speaking to them in person, asked them on a date and then just met them at the date?
I haven't done that.
Do you
No.
think that would be weird?
I think so, because you never talk to someone ever in person. And then you ask them on a date, and then you get there and you're like, oh, this is different. You know, it's a lot different talking to someone online than what it is in person.
And I feel like that's why me and you, Madison, we don't like that. Like I will talk to somebody like messaging for no more than like a few days. Like I can't message somebody all the time without knowing them because then it is just weird. It's so weird that I just won't want to meet them. I'll get like freaked out about it. So really, unless I meet somebody, already know them in real life and we message a little and then hang out, I might do that. Really, I don't hang out with people at all, but theoretically I might do that. Whereas if I've been messaging somebody for months online, I don't think I would have the courage to then go and face them in person, knowing how awkward it is. At least I think it's going to be. I just won't do it.
It's just weird because you know someone so well and you've never met them.
Mhm.
You've never like, even if you haven't like FaceTime someone, talked on the phone, like what is that about? That's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wait, would you FaceTime this person or talk to them on the phone, or is it strictly messaging?
I'd have to message him because I feel like FaceTime would just be awkward.
Same.
Because like, what if you want to hang up? How do you just say, I gotta go? Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, I would be so nervous on FaceTime.
That's so funny. I'm the same way. Sometimes like a guy will ask to FaceTime and I'm like, oh, you just make up an excuse. I'm like, I can't. Like my camera's broken. I don't know. I'm actually going to bed right now. Like I can't do it.
Do you think too, like that, if you're talking to someone on the phone, that means you have to get their number? Like maybe that's the thing about Snapchat is like it's really low stakes. You can delete someone if you
Yep.
want. Like it's not a big deal. But if you have someone's number, I feel like that's like a very personal thing.
Yeah.
I don't like asking people for phone numbers. That makes me so uncomfortable. Like, I know a lot of people are like, what's your number? I don't do that. That makes me like anxious. I don't know. I just am uncomfortable doing that.
Okay, how do you feel about being left on red?
Oh, that bugs me.
Does it hurt? Does it sting?
Like if I really like somebody to do that, yeah, it's a bummer. But like if I'm talking to someone mid conversation and they just stop talking to me and leave me on red, I'm like, well, that makes me irritated.
Okay, wait. How about this? How do you feel about being left undelivered for very long, like a day?
Like a day, oh, that I can't stand that.
Okay, I'm guilty of that one because I feel bad leaving people on red sometimes. So instead, I just simply won't open it.
Sienna does that all the time. She'll leave it for like a week or two and be like, then she'll read the message and be like, yeah.
I could check right now, like how many people I have just undelivered.
Why do you think that would make it better than just opening it and not responding? Or you just don't want the responsibility?
It's more like me avoiding it. I know I probably should, but I feel bad when somebody is messaging me, just opening them and not responding. And a lot of times I feel like I'm not super social a lot. So I don't feel like talking, but I also don't want to like upset this person. I'm like, okay, I'll get to it later. And the next thing I know, it's been like a week and I still have it.
I'll do that if I don't like talking to somebody. Like if I don't want to, like if I know this person just like wants something or something like that, I'll leave them on red. I'll leave them undelivered for like 2 days and then I'll be like, oh, sorry. Like I'll deliberately do it, but I don't do that a lot. But there's certain people, it's like, I know you're texting me or like you're Snapchat me because you want something. I don't want to help or something like that. So I just want to answer.
Or the worst, when say you're like messaging your crush, they leave you undelivered and then they're posting on their story.
Yep. I've had that happen before.
The pain. Oh my goodness.
I can understand that.
It hurts.
So Matthew, I know you recently had a breakup, but when you were dating, did you feel like any sort of pressure related to social media post? I know you don't really post on Instagram, but like posting things online for people to see, or did you text your girlfriend? Did you Snapchat? Like, how did that all work out?
I Snapchatted my girlfriend. Like I'd text her just because she was my girlfriend, but mostly we'd be on Snapchat. But I had her number and like we text and stuff, but mostly I would just Snapchat. But I didn't like feel the need to like post a bunch of stuff because I'm just not like that. So that might be different for other people, but I don't really feel the need.
Well, did she post a lot of you? I mean, I guess if neither of you are doing it, there's probably not.
Yeah, we were the same. We're not like crazy like posters and stuff like that. So we didn't like post a bunch of stuff. Like if it was our birthday or something, yeah, but we weren't like posting stuff like every day about each other. That's just not something we do.
Did social media ever cause problems, would you say?
Not really.
No? Okay, that's good.
I mean, I guess if you're not really looking at it, once again, like you're pretty busy, so you don't have a lot of time to just be
Yeah, I don't
sitting
spend
around.
hours on social media every day looking at it because I'm always busy.
Do you think that for other kids your age that that's a big problem, that they're just on it all the time and then that's causing a lot of other issues?
Yeah, some people will spend like hours and hours and hours on social media. Like TikTok now is like a problem. People will spend like 4 hours on TikTok and think it's nothing. It's like,
I love TikTok. I'll say it. TikTok is my favorite app in the world. I love it so much.
I don't post anything and I always swore I'd never get it. And then one day I was bored and I got it and I'm like, I'm addicted. That's the only thing I'll spend like hours on. I can't do like Instagram or something like that, but I could spend a lot of time on TikTok.
It's so entertaining. The more you use it, the better it gets.
Yep.
Yeah, I love TikTok. I'll just find myself like deep in who knows what on TikTok. It's great.
But like, when you're looking on TikTok, you're probably looking at more like funny things. Because I think sometimes with girls, as we talked to Reese about, you see people that you're just comparing yourself to, but like is that just like a thing that guys don't really
Yeah,
do
we don't do that a
often?
lot. I just kind of go on there to watch funny stuff, but I know certain girls that go on TikTok and they get jealous because they like see other girls and like, I got to be like that. It's like, you don't really need to be like that, but I don't really want to compare myself to somebody else or do something like that.
I mean, I guess it's not something you necessarily can speak on, but like, I think sometimes girls, especially in high school, feel like they need to do something or be like that to impress boys. But like, is that something that you really pay much attention to?
Not really. Like if a girl said, oh, I got to have so many likes or something on TikTok. If I liked that girl, I wouldn't even care about her TikTok or Instagram or something like that. Or I've got thousands of followers. Like I don't care.
Good. So it's about the person.
Yeah. It's not how your social media. It's like, that's good for you, but I don't care about that.
I think sometimes people get like from each side, they like think that the other side cares, but then they don't.
Yeah, I guess as a guy, is there something that you think that girls like look for or care about a lot?
I mean, just your personality, but I don't really know. Guys are a lot different than girls and like social media and stuff like that. I don't think girls pay much attention. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, like to their Instagram or how many stuff like that. I just think it's different. But I think some girls think that boys look at the social media like the girls and like their followers and stuff like that.
If you were dating someone now, let's say, and you knew that they were on Instagram looking at either guys that they don't know, like famous people, or guys that they do know, looking at their Instagrams all the time, is that something that would bother you?
I mean, if it was like people from our school and they were like obsessed with it or something like that, that might bother me. But if they're just looking at someone's Instagram, like a popular person or something like that, I really wouldn't be bothered. But if it was someone from like my school or someone they knew and they were always looking at their Instagram, that would bother me more.
Because I feel like that's closer to home.
Yeah, that's almost like you don't like, why are they looking at them?
Mhm.
Like, are they seeing them also? What's going on?
Exactly. Like I've got questions and stuff like that.
Or if they're always liking their photos, like how do you feel about that?
Or like not even liking, but if they're just commenting on them.
Yeah, that'd be weird. I think if they like commented a lot on someone I knew, that would be different. I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I feel like in relationships, a big problem that I see is when either gender is like liking photos all the time. What are your takes on that? Like if you were dating a girl and she was always liking this guy's post, or if you had a girlfriend, would you be liking girls' posts all the time? Do you think that's fine? Do you think that's not fine?
I personally don't like any Instagram pictures, so like I just kind of scroll through. So I wouldn't do that. But like if there was like if I had a girlfriend and she was like always liking someone's photo, like right away or something like that, and always commenting and stuff like that, I'd wonder about that.
I feel like I see it a lot. Like boys will like girls in like bikinis, and their girlfriends are like, "Oh, why'd you like that?" And they're like, "But they say, oh, it's just a photo. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a picture. It doesn't mean anything. It's a like, or they're my friend." And they're like, "Yeah, but it's kind of like uncomfortable." And I feel like I hear it both ways all the time.
And then they get like offended and stuff like that. Yeah. My friend's girl, well, he's her ex-girlfriend now, but he used to like pictures, but not like because he liked the girl, but he just liked bikinis or anything like that. And his girlfriend would get really upset. But he wasn't doing it like in general, just to like, because he liked the girl. He just do it in general, and his girlfriend would get really upset.
Where's the line though? Like it's almost like if you were at the beach and your boyfriend was just staring at another girl. It's like the same, don't you think?
I can understand that. Yeah.
So where's the line? Like, is the line a like, a comment? What if they're like, if they message somebody, where does it?
Or following random girls that they don't know, just like random hot girls.
That'd be weird. Like if I had a girlfriend, I would do it like if I had a girlfriend, because that's just kind of different. I don't know how to explain it. I just wouldn't do that.
I feel like a lot of guys do that type of stuff though. The fallback always is, it doesn't mean anything. You know, it's just online. It's just social media. And in a way that is true. It is just social media. It's just a follow. But also, you know, like following all these random.
I know a lot of people that do that.
I think a lot of people get confused on what doesn't actually mean anything and what is just an excuse for you to look at other people while we're in a relationship.
Yeah. And then the same thing, I feel like guys will say, oh, well, you're just being controlling, you know?
Yeah, that's their excuse. They'll be like, butt out, you know, just mind your business. You're being too controlling. I've seen people, yeah.
So what's your take? Do you have a take on it as a high school boy?
I don't know. Some girl, I feel like the boys would think that they're controlling because they just want like to do it. Like they don't want any
repercussions. They want to be able to do what they want.
Exactly. They don't want anybody to tell them what to do. So like if the girlfriend's had, they say, oh, you're just doing it because you're jealous or you're controlling or something like that.
You're insecure.
Yeah. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to do what they want to do. So that's just what their excuse is.
Tricky situation. At the end of the day, if you're in a great relationship, everything is great. Besides that, it's like, do you really throw it all away? But also, if your partner is asking you to do something, how hard is it to just respect that? Is it really that important that you continue to do these actions? Why would you want to hurt them just to follow somebody?
Exactly. If they ask, just to stop, I'd stop. You know, I'm not going to throw a whole relationship away for an Instagram follower or something like that.
Do you think that dating in high school, now that you've had kind of both sides, is something that people should do, or is it just you should just, you know, talk to people on Snapchat for 2 years and just never anything happens, or where do you stand?
I think that's could be different for different people. Me, it was like my relationship was fine. Like I liked it, but and it was nice. But some people like they can't have a relationship and they struggle with that kind of stuff. And they'd rather just talk to like 15 girls for 4 years and they're not ready for just one relationship. But I think it could go both ways. I think it's different for different people.
Also, I guess how common do you think cheating is nowadays with like the younger generation?
I've seen a lot of people in my school cheat on their girlfriends and boyfriends. Haven't seen a lot of guys cheat on their, I've seen a couple, but in my school, it's been a lot of girls cheat on their boyfriends. They go out with other guys and talking to other guys and meet up with other guys and stuff like that and go behind their boyfriend's back. I've seen a lot of it where it's like the boyfriend's best friend or something like that. We've seen that a couple times in my school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Do you think that social media makes that easier, or do you think it's just like if they're going to do it, they're going to do it no matter what?
I think that's both. Like, I think if they're going to cheat, they've got their mind made up. That's what they're going to do. But I think social media really helps that. Like Snapchat in general, you can add somebody. But like if you've got your mindset already set up that I'm going to cheat, I just think that Snapchat makes it a lot easier.
And it's hard, same thing, like being in a relationship. You don't want to be controlling and be like, you can't talk to these people. But you know what I mean? It gets so confusing because it's like, also, do you want your boyfriend messaging a girl all day, every day? Like, it's just, I feel like social media, in my opinion, causes a lot of problems in relationships. Not necessarily having it, but I feel like the more you actively use it, it just ends up causing a lot of issues.
It's all kind of blurred together, what's acceptable and what's too far.
And same thing with like sending like flirty messages. Like, it just kind of ruins dating, in my opinion. I feel like people, like, I probably wouldn't really want to date somebody who is super active on social media.
Yeah, it has like a million, like on Snapchat, like a million Snapchat sent or something like that. I'd be more skeptical about that.
Yeah. To me personally, that's a red flag. Not saying that obviously if you have that, you cheat or you're not like faithful. Obviously not. But to me, it's a bit suspicious. Like my Snapchat score is pretty low because I don't really talk to anyone.
Because you never open your messages.
Yeah. I don't use it. I just mind my own business.
I know people that'll sit and send like Snapchat one person all day long just to make their Snapchats higher.
Yeah. And like to me, that's a red flag. Well, maybe because it's also like a sign of being younger too. So like obviously me being 22, I'm not trying to date a 16, 17-year-old. Like I would hope not. So if a guy who's like 24 is acting that way, it kind of, so it's a bit strange.
That'd be different.
What if you liked a girl and you looked at her Instagram and she had like 10,000, like just like a ridiculous amount of followers just because people want to like look at her?
Yeah, that'd be a red flag to me. I wouldn't like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Cause I don't know. I just feel like she just like that in general. Like if she has that many, I feel like she'd talk to like a lot of other guys or just, she knows that guys like looking at her and people like looking at her. So stuff like that. I don't know. That'd be kind of a red flag for me.
But like, is it the same as like, if a guy is looking at a girl, if guys are looking at her and it doesn't mean anything, that would still bother you?
I don't really know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you haven't been in that situation.
Yeah. I don't really know how to answer that.
Yeah, I don't think I would like knowing that people are just like staring at the person that I'm with all the time.
Yeah, that made me uncomfortable.
I feel like usually guys like that though. Like, oh yeah, like my girlfriend's so hot. Like all these guys like her.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I got the girl. All the other guys like her. Look at me.
Yeah. Whereas you are kind of like, I don't know if I'd like that. I personally wouldn't like that. I wouldn't want a guy who has all these like girls, like followers.
I think that being in high school these days is really complicated, even more complicated than when Sienna and I went to high school, just because there's so many, it seems like social media is like such a big thing and so many things are more factored into what's going on.
A lot of drama.
Yeah, there's a lot more drama because of it. What is your advice for people your age on kind of how to just stay away from that? And just, I think you're more of like a normal high school kid as opposed to like, you don't really worry about other things.
Not really.
Besides kind of what you're doing. What's your advice to kids to just be less worried about their online presence?
Yeah, kind of just like worry about yourself and don't like worry about everybody else on social media and don't like try and be like them and a bunch of other stuff. Cause just be you. Cause sometimes trying to be like other people can cause drama or different stuff like that. So I'd say just not like stick to yourself, but just kind of just, I don't know, don't try to like imitate other people just cause you get that vibe. Like you need to do that. Just don't really do that. Stick to being yourself.
Yeah, you'll never be happy if you try to be someone else. The best person you can be is yourself. Work on yourself and just be you.
All right. Well, thanks for being on our show.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun having you.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to have two sides of the story. So thanks for teaching us about the modern high school boy.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I agree.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much again to Matthew for being the guest on our show today. If you have a story you want to personally share on the show or want us to read on air, find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at JustAPersonPod, or send us an email at justapersonpod@gmail.com. And we'll see you next Monday with another new episode.